Here's an example of dealing with a complex number. So let's talk about what complex numbers really are. So you know about square roots. The square root of 9 is 3, I'm sure you know, and the reason is because 3 times 3 is 9. Okay, so now let me ask, what's the square root of negative 9? It's not negative 3, is it? Negative 3 times negative 3 would be positive 9, not negative 9, so that doesn't work. It can't be positive 3 because, positive 3 times positive 3 wouldn't be negative 9. So what is it? You might say, well, you need one negative and one positive. Yeah, but you can't do that because it's supposed to be the same number times itself, right? The square root of negative 9, that's not the same number twice. So you need to have the same number times itself. Okay, so the point of all this is you cannot do it. You cannot take the square root of any negative number. It's not real. If you do it on your calculator, you get an error. Well then, because there is no real number times itself that's negative 9 or anything else negative, right? That's impossible. But we want to do it anyway. So here's what we do. The square root of negative 9, you take the negative outside as an I, and then you just do the square root of 9, which is 3, so it's 3i. So, in fact, let me just bring it down here a little bit and explain. When there's a negative inside of a root, take it out to, to the front. Take it out to the front. Take it out, well, I'm sorry, I'm not saying this very clearly. Take it out and put I in the front of the root. That's the deal. That's how we handle the square root of a negative number. You take that negative and you put an I in the front. And the negative's gone. Then you can do the square root of 9. Now that the negative's not in there anymore, you can do the square root of 9 is 3i. So that's how we handle that. Now you might say, well, what's that I for? It's for imaginary. In other words, this is not a real number. This is not a real number. It's imaginary. So let's see how it works. So we got negative 7, and then what are we going to do with that negative inside? It comes out and it goes right there to the front of the square root. It's no longer inside. So now it's the square root of regular 64. And now you can do the square root of regular 64, which is 8. You see, once you get the negative out of the root, and you put an I in the front for imaginary, you're saying it's imaginary, it's not real, because it had a negative in the root, but now you take out that negative, put an I, and then you can do the square root of 64. Regular 64 is 8. Then you just multiply 7 times 8, 56, so it's minus 56i.